Conor McGregor has starched opponents in 13 seconds flat, but even his nastiest left hook never detonated like the screenshot that hit X at 3 in the morning. One swipe, one tap from Azealia Banks, and Ireland woke up to its would-be president, fully exposed, dumbbell dangling, plastered across every phone in Dublin. The hashtag #McGregor leaks lit up faster than a Vegas marquee, and suddenly the man who once promised to fight for the little guy was fighting for his political pulse. Let's rewind to March, when Conor swaggered onto Instagram Live, proper number 12 in hand, and declared he'd swap the UFC belt for the presidential sash. He joked that the Aras and Wakhtarain needed a bit of Dublin grit, name-dropped Elon Musk and Donald Trump as mates who get it, and vowed to uppercut corruption the same way he floors featherweights. Fans flooded the comments with shamrock emojis, but Ireland's political old guard clutched their pearls. Newspapers ran front-page think pieces. Could a cage fighter really charm county councils and parliamentarians? Conor grinned, flexed, and promised signatures would roll in, like pints on St. Paddy's. Spoiler, they didn't, and that was before the DM disaster put his entire campaign on a stretcher. Okay, so here's where the fairy tale campaign meets Irish bureaucracy. To even get on the ballot, you don't just print posters and shout, "Up the dubs." You need either 20 sitting Oi Reactus members or 4 separate city or county council votes to sign your nomination papers. Think of it as collecting golden tickets from politicians who'd rather not explain to voters why they backed the guy famous for left hooks and 4-letter tweets. When Euronews ran the math this spring, they politely called McGregor's odds close to zero. But the frost really set in when the Irish Times rang up local reps. They surveyed almost 200 councillors and found, brace yourself, exactly none willing to stick their name on Conor's form. One councillor joked he'd sooner nominate a sheepdog. Another called the idea political suicide. Even the few who admire McGregor's charity work whispered that backing him would be like handing dynamite to a toddler. In other words, Conor's presidential journey was sputtering long before those DMs leaked. It just took a screenshot scandal to make the engine noise loud enough for everyone to notice. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. in New York, the hour when most of us are either deep dreaming or doom scrolling. Azealia Banks is definitely the latter. She opens X, slaps post, and suddenly Conor McGregor's full frontal gym selfies. Yep, the ones allegedly featuring a dumbbell hanging from where no dumbbell should hang, are splashed across her timeline with zero blur. Within seconds, the timeline detonates. Your phone chirps, your cousin texts, "Yo, did you see Conor's equipment?" And the hashtag #McGregor leaks blasts to the top spot worldwide. But Banks doesn't stop at screenshots. She drops a follow-up message, the social media version of a flaming uppercut, showing McGregor's alleged DM, "Don't be a rat, cause all rats get caught." She claps back in real time. "Potato farmer Doc threatens me not to tell." Honey, aren't you angling to be president of Ireland? Fans roar, meme makers boot up Photoshop, and brand managers everywhere brew emergency coffee. Suddenly, this isn't just late-night drama. It's a full-scale PR wildfire threatening to toast McGregor's political daydream before breakfast. By sunrise, the phones of every party whip in Leinster House were buzzing like a beehive on espresso. Reporters wanted a quote, any quote, but spokespersons were ducking calls faster than Conor slips a jab. The official line? No comment at this time. The unofficial vibe? Thank God he's not on our ticket. Even the backbench independents, usually up for a bit of chaos, went radio silent after glancing at Banks' screenshots. One senior TD was overheard muttering that supporting McGregor now would be political suicide served on a silver tray. Meanwhile, the money people felt the temperature drop. PR consultants whispered that a major sportsbooks app slapped a hold tag on McGregor-themed promos before the American markets even opened. Whiskey distributors, already skittish after last year's assault verdict saw retailers yank proper number 12 from shelves, started phoning lawyers about exit clauses. And over in Las Vegas, UFC execs faced their own migraine. MMA Mania headline blasted that the promotion was stuck between morals and money, hinting that keeping the Notorious in pay-per-view main events could now carry full frontal baggage. The promotion's social feed suddenly went McGregor free, a digital disclaimer as loud as any press release. The silence from McGregor's camp only amplified the chaos. No cheeky tweet, no press conference roar, nothing. For a guy who once live-streamed himself trash-talking Jose Aldo at 4 a.m., going mute felt like waving a white flag. In politics, as in fighting, you can't let the other corner dominate the conversation. By breakfast, it was Azealia, meme accounts, and late-night talk show writers scoring all the points while Conor's team scrambled for a towel. Here's the part where the headlines start to feel like reruns of a show nobody asked to binge. Remember last November, when a Dublin jury decided Conor did more than just trash talk in 2018 and hit him with nearly €250,000 in damages for assaulting a woman in a penthouse suite? That verdict was barely out of the news cycle when January rolled in with a fresh civil suit, this time from a woman who says McGregor attacked her in a Kaseya Center bathroom during the 2023 NBA Finals. The Miami Heat and the arena itself got dragged into that filing, so the story hit both sports pages and business desks in one punch. Fast forward to just a few weeks ago. Grainy phone footage from an Ibiza nightclub pops up. It shows Conor throwing two quick shots, one victim on the floor, McGregor still partying like nothing happened. The clip goes viral, ER report leaks, and suddenly even hardcore fans start Googling anger management classes in Dublin. And if you're thinking this all sounds familiar, you're right. Roll back to 2019 when he decked an elderly man who dared refuse a sip of proper no worse 12. That little barroom cameo cost him a €1,000 fine and an avalanche of bad press. So, when critics called this latest DM fiasco just another notch on the rap sheet, they're not being dramatic. They're reading off a list that's starting to look longer than his record of first-round KOs. By mid-morning, the scandal wasn't just tabloid catnip, it was showing up in hard numbers. An Irish independent Ireland Thinks poll, taken the first weekend after the leak, found that only 7% of voters would still tick McGregor's name if the election were held tomorrow, roughly the same share that believes in leprechauns over 35. Everyone else? They'd moved on to safer bets, like former EU Commissioner Mairead McGuinness, who's now lapping the field. Bookies reacted even faster than the electorate. Boyle Sports drifted McGregor's odds out to 15-1, lumping him in with long-shot independents who can't even secure 4 county council signatures. One oddsmaker quipped on X, he's gone from inside favorite to novelty flutter in a single DM. The upshot? In politics, perception pours cement faster than facts. Once the memes cast you as a punchline, every real-world poll just feels like the referee counting toward 10. And Conor's already hearing 8 in his ears. Crisis PR experts outline 2 roads. 1, a televised apology tour echoing Tiger Woods' mea culpa era. Or 2, total silence while lawyers tighten NDAs. Either path is uphill. More screenshots could emerge, and each one would replay like an endless highlight reel of political self-sabotage. In 2025, the greatest threat to any campaign isn't a rival party. It's your own digital trail. One reckless DM toppled months of political chest thumping, reminding every would-be candidate that screenshots never sleep. So here's the final bell. Did Conor McGregor's presidential fantasy just suffer a first-round knockout? Or will Ireland forgive the fighter's latest foul? Drop your verdict below, smash subscribe for round 2, and remember, before you hit send, ask yourself if you're ready for the entire electorate to hit save.